Well, g'day, Paul. Thanks for the call today, mate.
Hey Pete, no problems, buddy. How you going?
Going all right, man. So, whereabouts are you right now?
I'm at home, mate, on the Gold Coast.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, cool, man. Yeah. So,
not so sunny today though, mate. It's pouring with rain outside at the moment.
oh, really? Oh, it's
Yeah,
nice and sunny down here in Sydney.
oh, okay. It happens, mate.
This actually happened the opposite. Oh, it was nice and sunny when I was talking to Trav Bell the other day in Melbourne, but it was pouring down rain here.
Yeah, well, it's not often sunny in Melbourne, so you got them on a good day.
All right, man. So, could you let us know, Paul? What are you actually working on at the moment? What's your main project that's taking your attention and your focus?
Cool, mate. Right now, what I'm working on, probably the biggest project I'm working on right now, is creating a lot more sales videos for people. So graphical-based sales videos. So the sort of stuff you've probably seen online, where it's a voiceover with graphic animation on it, rather than actually having a person in the video.
Yep.
Actually doing a lot more of those and working on a process to really automate the process of getting those done for people, so we can create packages and create those videos for people really quickly, so they can get them out and start, getting them working for them.
Okay.
One of the challenges I had when I started creating those sort of videos and working with, working with my team to create those sort of videos, was the time it was taking just between script interactions and getting clients to record their voiceovers, and it was just taking a lot of time. So right now we're really working on a process to condense that down so we can get them out really quickly.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it seems like it's coming together really well.
Well, and so how long have you been working on that little thing for there?
Oh, that's over the last sort of 5 or 6 weeks. We've been sort of looking at that, looking at just different ways we can automate the process, different online tools we can use to automate the process and make things easily accessible for people.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of part of an ongoing project. I mean, I've got a lot of production work on at the moment, a lot of different edit jobs we're doing for people at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I've been out doing some speaking as well. But that sort of sales video side of things is just another ongoing project that's happening along with everything else.
Yeah. All right,
There's
man.
100 things happening.
So that's what you're doing now. But so a while back, how long have you been in the industry now of doing video and?
Mate, I got involved in video in 1994,
Okay.
so 18 years now.
Yeah.
Back in New Zealand, where I'm originally from, my first job in the industry, I worked for the horse racing channel over there.
Yeah.
So I used to be out filming horse races every day all over the country.
Wow.
I sort of grew up in a theatrical family, so I've been around theatre and got involved in the technical side of that. So I'd sort of been around it for a long time. But yeah, 94, got involved in TV, doing the horse racing thing. Then started getting involved more in sort of general TV production, a lot of corporate video production. Started out as a camera assistant,
Mm-hmm.
working in Wellington for some of the bigger cameramen down there, and just worked my way up as an assistant, learning from them, and then started getting opportunities to shoot stuff myself.
Yep.
And just sort of got into it from there and spent pretty much 13 years full time as a cameraman, working on all sorts of projects. Started out with a lot of corporate videos, corporate communications, working for banks and insurance companies, doing all their internal sort of videos. Then getting more into TV documentaries, which was fantastic. I loved that sort of work because got to travel all over New Zealand, Australia, around the South Pacific, meeting amazing people and really, really learning the art of storytelling.
Okay.
Yeah, filming what was going on, but remembering that we had to be creating a story out of it at the same time to be able to convey that information. So that was great. And then sort of was very fortunate to be able to get involved in some big films that were made in New Zealand as well. Through sort of 99, 2000, 2001, I was involved in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Worked on
Wow.
a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff there, creating all the behind-the-scenes DVDs on that, and then also was able to work on the first Narnia film, which was made in New Zealand, on King Kong.
Yeah.
So those are pretty amazing experiences to be involved in those big shows,
What's something you could share about that experience, like some of the stories that maybe, what happens behind the scenes? Because I love sitting down with my son, and that's our favourite part of the movies. When it's finished, we dig in and just watch how it was made and that sort of stuff. So.
Oh, mate, I mean, so much. I mean, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that you just don't realise. I mean, and it's probably, on those films, it's the scale of them, like how big they were. When we're working on a TV drama, say, take a show like, say, A Pact to the Rafters or a McLeod's Daughters or something like that. If you're working on a show like that, you're generally producing about 8 minutes of finished TV per day.
Mm.
When we're on those big films, you might be producing seconds.
Wow.
On some given day when you average it out. I mean, the main filming period for the 3 Lord of the Rings films went over 18 months. And then there was about 6 months of additional filming done for each film. So, you know, you've got over 12 months per film of filming in there. And when you've got a big bunch of people that are working together that closely for that long, it becomes its own little community. And it's pretty cool, you know. There's a lot of fun that goes on, but there's a lot of hard work, and it's not as glamorous as people think, you know.
Yeah. So what kind of hours were you putting in every day?
Yeah. Well, standard filming day was up to 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then depending what you were doing, you're often there earlier, depending on your department or who you were working with, you're often there earlier to get set up. Then you start your filming, you do your filming day, and then you do your pack up. Depending where you were, you might have travel. You know, you might have an hour's travel to get back from your location to your accommodation. So, you know, your days sometimes stretch out to 15, 16 hours. Massive amounts of night shooting. I wasn't too involved in that. I did enough to be bored with it.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you love the Lord of the Rings films, there's the big scene in the second film, I think, where all the orcs attack the city of Minas Tirith, which is the big city that's carved into the cliff face, and that all happens at night. And that was like 6 or 8 weeks of night shooting for people. And you just go a little bit balmy, you know, working at night, working those sort of hours overnight, a lot of the time in the rain, and it's not real rain, it's artificial rain. So, you know, it's not bad enough that you're out working in the middle of the night, you're getting water poured down on top of you, you know, and it's not even actually raining. But, you know, you just get on with it and do it. It's just part of the life and part of what you do. But just on occasion, you'd sort of step back and go, wow, this is pretty amazing. You know, you'd be in a forest somewhere with, you know, the black riders charging on stallions down a pathway, and you'd just be doing your job, and then suddenly you'd have this moment going, well, this is pretty surreal kind of environment, you know.
So you got to meet all the guys, like some of the cast?
Yeah, we met and interacted with all the crew and the cast. And
how about Peter Jackson?
Actually, I was going to say that wasn't on Lord of the Rings, that was on King Kong. I was looking at the guitar in your background there, but I played guitar with Jack Black in his caravan one day in his trailer.
Wow.
You know, it's those sort of experiences you get to have that are pretty rare and pretty special.
Yeah. And did you get to meet Peter Jackson as well?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Peter Jackson. He's a cool guy. He's an amazing sort of creative genius. He's always creating in his mind. There's always the vision, and the whole vision of those films. You know, they were groundbreaking in their time in terms of the graphics and what they did with them. And that was all Peter. You know, it was all Peter's vision that made that come to life. Yeah. So yeah, he's cool. He's a crazy guy. You know, he's got his long shaggy hair, and he's always in his thongs and shorts, and you know, looking a mess. But that's who he is. And
so obviously I'm a big audio dude as well. Like I used to read the magazine Audio Technology, and they featured his big movie cinema where they do the actual mixing and that sort of stuff.
The mixing cinema is amazing.
Did you get to go in there?
I was lucky enough. I got to watch half of the first film in the mixing studio. Yeah. And it was insane. I was sort of sitting there realizing that this film is never going to sound as good anywhere in the world as what it does in this room right now. Yeah. Yeah, like spine-tingling stuff. If you're an audio guy and you understand the impact that audio has in movie and in any video, even, you know, what I do now with web videos, the impact of audio is incredible. And when you're sitting in this room and the room's just shaking with the horses, and yeah, it was a pretty amazing experience. Yeah. And, you know, and if you're a tech geek and you love it, you know, the mixing desk is like 30 feet long, and it's just crazy shit. Yeah. But it's cool, you know. That was actually where I really got my biggest understanding of the impact of audio, was watching the guys mix different scenes. And when you're doing a big film like that, the process is that there's sort of two sides to the audio department. There's the track laying department, where they'll go and get all the sounds. So you'll have the person talking, you might have the campfire crackling away, you might have the wind blowing in the trees, you might have the horse chewing on something or neighing in the background. And the track layers get all those sounds. So whether they have to record them, whether they have to make them, whatever they do, and they make them all available. So all those sounds are there on multiple tracks. But then they hand it over to the mixers, and the mixers then have the job of choosing how much of which sound to use. Yeah. And watching those guys work was where I really understood the emotional impact of sound. And there's a scene in the third movie, I think, where I can't remember the characters' names, but the king sends the riders out pretty much to certain death.
Yeah.
And he's got one of the hobbits, the fourth little hobbit, Pippin, I think, Merry or Pippin, and the scene shows the horses charging out to battle, and you know they're sort of going to certain death, but the audio is just Pippin singing.
Yeah.
So he's got the hobbit singing to him. So you're watching this scene. Oh, I'm getting chills talking about it.
Yeah.
You got a scene of the riders, riding out, where you might expect all the thundering hooves and the battle cries and things, but actually all you're hearing is this sort of haunting solo voice singing. And we were there watching them mix it, and they were playing with putting the horses in and taking the horses out, and all of that. But ultimately, how it worked out is they went, no, take all of that out and just let the emotion of that single voice singing. And it was really cool to watch and be part of that and really understand the impact of that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool time. I'm pretty fortunate to have had those experiences.
Yeah. Wow, man, I'm jealous. I'm so jealous because I used to read that section. Oh man, and I think there's a photo of Peter up and laying on one of the lounges.
Oh yeah, beautiful environment too. Like it's plush.
Yeah.
Big leather lounges and beautiful environment.
The best gear.
People to bring you coffees and it's a good environment to work in.
Yeah. So why did you come here then? You got all that in there.
Oh mate, look, about 2001, 2002, there was a real shift in the industry with the sort of the advent of reality shows. And like those big jobs are amazing, but they'd sort of come and go. Rings was going on through there, but like say the Narnia thing that sort of came and went over a 8-month period. King Kong was much the same over a 12-month period. But in between those jobs, doing other stuff, still doing some corporate stuff. But a lot of it became reality TV, and I found myself spending every weekend filming someone renovating their neighbour's house, or that sort of thing, or watching real estate auctions. I can't count how many real estate auctions I've filmed.
Yeah.
And there's just, I don't know, those shows were so opposite to the big cinema experiences, the documentaries, the TV commercials, and that they were made on very tight budgets. There's no creativity. Everything's up against a tight time frame. From my point of view, we were often working with inexperienced directors, so rather than trying to tell the story, they'd just be like, film everything and the editors will sort it out later. Just running ragged, filming everything that's going on. Stupid shit, like you'd be working on Changing Rooms, which is the show where they renovate each other's houses. And you'd have 2 directors, you'd have one in each house, but you'd be the only crew. So you'd get the director in one house going, come on, we need the crew over here, and then the director, and it was just shit. I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. It just really killed my passion for what I was doing. So a combination of that and Wellington's weather.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's been to Wellington, but much like Melbourne, it's sort of southerly city, exposed to the ocean, so when the southerly wind blows, it gets bitterly cold. And I remember one day, middle of November, being out filming in the pouring rain all day, and only about 5 minutes from where I was living, and cold southerly wind, and I got home and I couldn't feel my fingertips. And I was just like, this is insane. I'm doing work I hate. It's the middle of November and I can't feel my fingers. I got to change something. So that's when I sort of packed it all up and moved to the Gold Coast. The good old Kiwi trek.
And when was that? What year was that?
2005.
2005.
Yeah, so I've been here 7 years next month.
Yeah.
And love it. I spend a lot of time back in Wellington with my family, but I've got no desire to live back there. I love it here now. My life is here. My relationships, my businesses, it's great. I love it here.
Yeah.
So it was a positive change.
So about your businesses now, so who are your mentors? Sort of business mentors and people you followed that kind of, because you would have started again from scratch here, didn't you? Like when you come out.
Yeah, well, look, I did. I actually walked away from the industry. It's kind of ironic that I said, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to go do something completely different with my life. And I got here, and after about 2 weeks, I was bored silly. So I made a few phone calls to people I knew, and found myself working on Big Brother.
Yeah.
It was sort of the ultimate irony, really, because the reality TV thing was the whole reason I was giving it away. But it gave me a start and introduced me to a few people. But then I actually went out and did a bunch of different stuff. Got involved and met some cool people. So I went and actually got a job with a company called Action Coach, which is the world's largest business coaching company.
Yeah.
Owned by a guy called Brad Sugars, who's a phenomenal guy. same age as me, worth a hell of a lot of money and a very, very smart dude. So he sort of became my first mentor in business. And I was thrust into a sales role there, having never done sales. So that was amazing. That was a great introduction to business for me. After I'd been there, I actually built up and sold my own importing business, importing homewares from Bali, which was great. I had a property marketing business for a while before I got out of that. So it was amazing. Those experiences all combined to really get me to where I am today. And the mentors and things I met along the way really sort of opened my eyes to ultimately how I could combine my skills. And that's what led me to create the business I've got now. So it's really a combination of my video skills, but everything I learned from running my own small businesses and, being in sales roles, working within coaching companies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Brad was a really big mentor. Chris Howard has been a great mentor to me. I was very fortunate that I got involved with Universal Events and was running a lot of their audio-visual on their bigger shows. So I actually got to spend a lot of time and travel around Australia and overseas with Chris Howard. And just learned a lot from him in terms of mindset and really what's possible when you get your head in the right space.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And more recently, I've been working with Jeff and Kane. I don't know, you've been through Jeff and Kane's trainings as well. And they're great because the guys bring sort of a lot of, I don't know, they break things down and make it simple. Like, do this, do this, do this. And particularly pertaining to personal branding and getting your business online, and building your own brand, because I mean, this is something that goes exactly into my business as well, is that so much of your business is about you. You can't hide behind your logo or your business name anymore. People want to do business with people they trust.
Yeah.
And Jeff and Kane really highlighted that to me, and I've realised what a strength that is in what I do in video marketing and helping people get their message out there on video, because it's the easiest way to build connection and trust online. So, the more people that are stepping out from behind their brands, putting themselves out there on video, the better their businesses are going to grow, and the more relationships we're going to build online.
Yeah, no, that's right. And also, where we met was actually Roscoe Patterson's Event to Fame equation. And so you've been working with Roscoe as well. To what extent are you doing that? Are you sort of touring with Roscoe as he goes around, or are you sort of...
Roscoe's a great close personal friend of mine. I love him dearly, and we've learned a lot from each other too. We've been friends for just a little over 12 months and become really good friends. So I really got him going with video. Sort of taught him everything he knows. He says that from stage, so it's okay for me to say it. These days I just work to support him as best I can and however I can. So we met in Sydney recently. I was just travelling around the country with Roscoe on his first national tour. So he just asked me to come along with him and be there to support him on that. And now we're getting to be able to support each other in new ways as well. I'm now speaking on his stage. So last weekend he had an event here on the Gold Coast, the Fame Equation event, and I was able to go and speak at that, and we're doing the same again this Friday on the Sunshine Coast.
Okay, what are you
really
speaking on?
Cool to see the progression and how we're supporting each other.
Yeah. And what are you speaking on specifically when you do your talk?
So video marketing. So just really letting people know about the possibilities of video. Teaching them my 3-step video exposure formula to help them get the idea of what they need to be doing to use video online and really build their brands and build their businesses from there. Okay,
would it be all right if you share that formula now? Like, what's your 3-step formula?
Absolutely, yeah, cool. So, I mean, this is something I learned from Jeff and Kane. It's great to take what your mentors teach you and apply it straight away. So have a formula, have a system. People love systems and formulas. So I created the video exposure formula, which is a 3-step formula. So the first step is storyboard. So to me, storyboarding, coming from the film and TV industry, is the process of mapping out what's going to happen. I think it's important that you have a strategy in place. Like, it's really important just to get started, but you should also know how you want to use video, how you want to put yourself out there, and what results you want to achieve. There are so many different ways you can be using video, whether it's like just an intro video, whether it's doing video blogs, video testimonials, how-to videos, product demonstrations, interviews like we're doing right now is a great way of using video. So have a bit of a plan for what you're going to do, because that's going to help you move forward in the right direction. think about also the types of videos you can use to create money in your business. Like video is fantastic for exposure, and exposure is really great for your credibility. But you've got to create that. You've got to convert that exposure into money. You know, we're all in business to make money. Brad taught me this. Brad Sugars taught me this. He said, you know, the only reason to be in business is to make money. He said, you know, people will tell you they're in business to change the world and this and that, the other thing. And that's great. I think it's amazing that people have bigger goals, and I certainly have bigger goals. But the only reason to be in business is to make money, and that money will then allow you to do whatever it is you want to do and make your difference. So it's really important with video, when you're planning your strategy, when you're planning your storyboard, to think about, how do I monetize this? Is it just a matter of building your brand, building awareness, so then you can talk to people and sell them things? Or is it actually creating video products? You know, is it creating a DVD series that you can sell? So, you know, use the storyboard. Put a plan in place for where you're going to go. That's the first step in the video exposure formula. The second step is action. So action is like on the film set, right? Lights, camera, action. It's actually the process of making your videos. And that relates from everything to what equipment do you use, to how do you actually film, how do you edit, how do you create the graphics, how do you get your videos online. So when we're teaching that, it's all those practical production aspects. And like making videos is really simple these days. It's amazing. I mean, we're doing it right now on our computers. We're not even using a camera or any equipment. I mean, we're both sitting in front of our computers making video. This is an amazing device. If you've got an iPhone or an Android device, or you know, any phone with a camera in it, you can make a video straight away. Now, Roscoe will tell you this if you ask him, but it took me a long time to accept that it was okay to make videos on an iPhone.
Yeah.
And that's my background. You know, I spent years and years and years creating the highest quality images, working with the best professional equipment you can get your hands on.
Yeah.
So to accept that I can pick up my iPhone and go, hey guys, it's Paul, this is what I'm doing, it just took a while.
Yeah.
But the big realization and the big lesson in that is that your content is the most important thing. Now, that's not to say that quality doesn't matter, because as we see more and more video on the web, better quality video is going to stand out. You know, your content versus someone else's content might be the same, but if your videos are better, then it will stand out. So this is where you need to draw that line between getting the professionals involved or doing it yourself. But, you know, it's so simple these days. So there's so many quick and easy techniques we can teach you in the action segment of the formula. And the third step is exposure. So getting your videos out there. Your videos are no good if no one's seeing them, and particularly if the right people aren't seeing them. So the third step is exposure, which is about promoting your videos. So different ways of promoting, whether it's like doing Facebook campaigns, whether it's joint ventures, whether it's advertising and actually buying, you know, paying for ads to drive people to your videos. But making sure your video is getting out there so people can see it, because if no one sees it, it's no good to you. So, you know, that's a big part of the formula. So those are the three steps: storyboard, action, and exposure.
I just coughed as you said that. So you want to say that again? What are the three steps?
I was going to say those are the three steps. You know, storyboard, action, and exposure. Have a plan, execute it, and then make sure people know about it.
Yeah, excellent, man. That's unreal. Like, it's so simple. It's like, why didn't I know this before?
Thanks, Lee.
And yeah, the simple plans are often the best ones. So just on the subject of video marketing, I'm just going to go off screen now and head over to the Awesomepreneurs group, because I've actually asked, that's Roscoe Patterson's group that he's created. It's going to go over there, and I actually posted a question in the group last week.
Okay.
And the question was, I said next week I'm interviewing Paul Holland, the video marketing expert. What would you most like to learn about video marketing? So I'm just going to run through some of these questions.
Cool.
And just sort of get your view on these. Oh, Jody Rimmer says, awesome, Paul rocks. So John Halls, he's asked, is it better to host your videos on your own website or on YouTube, or both?
Cool. Is it better to host them on your own website or YouTube, or both?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, first thing I would say is it depends on the type of video that it is. But if we're just talking about like an intro video or a video blog or just a general informational video, then definitely YouTube is the answer. YouTube is now pretty much regarded as the second biggest search engine on the web. And I really want people to start thinking about YouTube as a search engine rather than as an entertainment platform.
Yep.
Pretty much these days, if people aren't going to Google to look for something, they're going to YouTube. This has been a deliberate strategy from Google because Google own YouTube. So they want to keep you on their platform ultimately, so you'll click on ads and they'll make money. But that's where the audience is. I mean, there's 800 million individual or unique views of YouTube every month. So there's a lot of people going to YouTube looking for stuff. Excuse me. Yeah. So you want your videos there because that's where people are looking. Then you want to make sure that you're being effective with them, that you're getting the right titles, the right descriptions, that people are able to find your videos. But in relation to John's question, I'd say, yeah, definitely want to be hosting on YouTube. And then you can just embed them back to your website from there. Plus, the other thing is, I mean, from a technical point of view, if YouTube have got your video hosted, then the bandwidth is on YouTube, which you're not paying for. If you have a video hosted on your own website that gets really popular, you get a lot of views out of it, or you're driving a lot of traffic there, then of course that's going to push up the amount of traffic that's coming to your website, which is a good thing, but also the amount of bandwidth in watching the video. So, you don't want to be eating up your bandwidth and getting lots of charges from your hosting provider. So YouTube's free. It's a free place. You can get free hosting there. The flip side to that would be the sort of video that's like for members only, or maybe something that people have to opt in to see. That's where you probably not want to have it on YouTube. If people are opting in to see something, then it's something that deserves to be kept aside for people that are opting in, not necessarily publicly available. Yeah. So that's where you might want to host on your own website. You might want to host somewhere else. You might want to use a service like Vidler or Vimeo, which most people have probably seen without realizing it, but they are video hosting services. So they're another service just like YouTube. But you've got more options. You can password protect videos. You can make them more private. You can domain protect them so they'll only play on your domain. Someone can't take your video and put it somewhere else. So for that sort of content or members content, yeah, you might want to look at maybe going somewhere else with it. But okay. YouTube is definitely the way to go. For your content videos, for getting information out there, you definitely want them out there on YouTube.
Cool, man. Thanks. Now, just this would be edited out. And now let's say...
Cool.
Okay, so we'll go back over to YouTube. Go back over to Facebook. Allison's Skate, tricks to make your video go viral. I know this is a favourite question of yours.
It is. And Allison's a client of mine.
Yeah.
She is a really, really cool chick. And got some great stuff going with Allison at the moment. Tricks to make your videos go viral. Okay, so for me, I get asked this a lot. And I've sort of got my standard answer that I can spew off. But I really believe there is no set formula. There are certainly things you can do to help your video go viral, but there's no real formula. The other thing I want to say on this is think about the intention for your video as well. Because to me, the most important thing you can do is get quality views from the right people. So if your video went nuts and got 5 million views, that might be great, but if no one's clicking through to your website or coming to opt in or taking the action you're asking them to take, then those 5 million views are useless from a from a business point of view. Make you feel good that 5 million people watched your video, but feeling good doesn't necessarily equate to money. So while it's a great aim to get as much exposure for our videos as we want, I think it's really important that people keep in mind that they're trying to get their video in front of the right audience and drive them to take action. Having said that, things to make your videos go viral, make them unusual and unexpected. So they've got to be fun. Like the thing you'll find with most viral videos is that they're fun. All right, people are having a laugh, or there's something going on that's amusing or funny to watch. Or there's a great series called The Fun Theory, which you can just look up on YouTube, where they took everyday things and made them more fun. So they turned a stairway coming out of a subway station into like a piano keyboard.
I've seen that one. Yep.
Yeah. So so what happened is the day they did that, 70% more people took the stairs than the escalator. Yeah. But it's fun. So people are enjoying it and watching it. So make your videos fun, but make them unexpected. Make something happen that's unexpected and catches people's attention. Plus, promote the hell out of them. Like, get everyone you know to give them a kickstart. So get everyone you know to post it on their Facebook or email their database or tell all their friends. because you've got to give it some momentum. You know, there's a lot of videos online that these days are deemed as viral videos that were online for a year or 2 years before they actually took off.
Mm.
When they get that viral attention is when one particular person picks it up. You know, I can't think of a specific example right now, but you think if you had a video that you'd made and you put online and it sat there for a year, and then maybe Oprah tweets about it, it's going to go mad.
Yeah.
So the thing there is it's the momentum, it's the people pushing it. So the more you have people pushing it, the more your influencers who, you know, influence trends and things like that are likely to see it. Alison, who asked this question, is a great example of this right now. Alison published a book called Ambush Proposals, and we created a video campaign for her to help promote the book. And it's, yeah, that's exactly it. You've seen it. So if people watching, if you haven't seen it, just Google interactive wedding proposal, or go to YouTube and look up interactive wedding proposal or interactive how to propose, and you'll see a picture of Alison standing there with her hands out, and she's got little characters on her hands. And it's a video series where you can play along. So she asks you a series of questions, and you have to click on the icons on her hands to choose the outcome. Now, that's really great. We've got, I think, a little over 15,000 views in 3 weeks now, which is a great result. You know, we applied some cool ninja YouTube tricks to get it up and running.
Anything you can share right now?
What's that, sorry?
Anything you can share right now?
Oh, of course. I don't know, I'll tell you a few, but...
Well, let me be more specific. I watched it when it first went up,
yep.
And there was like 100 views.
Cool.
Almost like a week later, where we met at the Fame Equation, it had 8,000 views.
Yep, cool.
How did you organise that to happen?
So the first thing we did was Facebook. The first place that it got launched was Facebook. Hey everyone, go check this out. And Alison emailed a bunch of people and asked them to do it. I was doing it, of course. Roscoe as well pushed it out through his networks and through Awesomepreneurs Group. Mm-hmm. Really just to get that first momentum. We actually purchased 1,000 views. So you can go to a website called Fiverr.com, which is Fiverr, and it's a website where people will do things for a fiver. And one of the things you can do is you can buy pretty much anything. You can buy friends for your Facebook profile if you need to. But one of the things we did there is we actually bought 1,000 views. So that got some momentum going.
What are those views? When you buy the views, that's just someone goes there and watches it?
Yep. So someone sends it out to their network and says, hey guys, please go and watch this video. So one of the factors that YouTube ranks your video on, one of our big goals on this was to push these videos up to page 1 on YouTube, because as I said, you want to think about it like a search engine. So we all know that being on page 1 of Google is really valuable. So same deal for YouTube. You want to get on page 1. So views are one of the factors that YouTube look at to accomplish that. Backlinking. So if you've known anything about SEO or talk to people about SEO for your website, you know, you want backlinks for your website, you want keywords in your website. Same deal with the videos. So we got a lot of backlinks established. We made sure that the title of the video was keyword rich, the description of the video is keyword rich, and just really did everything we could to push it up there onto page 1. And once we got there on page 1, the views just started to roll and organically take off. Yeah. So, you know, that it's viral on a tiny scale. You know, it's 15,000, not 15 million, but it's great, and it's getting out there and working well. And it's different, and it's unusual, and people like to see something unusual, and the feedback we've had on that's been really, really cool. But
yeah, it's a great video.
You want to get backlinks for your videos, you want to get views, you want to get comments on your videos. You know, if people can leave video responses, so on YouTube, under your video, there's the comments section. You can actually post a video there as a video response. That's really, really great for the ranking of your own video to help push it up the search rankings.
So if you ask your friends...
Say, great, easy tricks you can do to help get your video ranked on YouTube.
So you could ask your friends. So, for example, I could make a video and say, hey, Paul, can you go and leave a video comment?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just make a little video going, hey, Pete, great, this is what I think, and I leave it in the comments of yours, and that'll push yours up.
And that has a lot of strength versus just text.
Yeah, absolutely. It has a lot more strength than just a text comment.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Yeah. Okay. Just move on to another couple of questions from there. Um, just people asking about Poi TB, cheap way to set up a home studio and storage as well. So, yeah, what's a good way to set up a home studio on a budget?
Look, you can set up a home studio really simply. Get some really sort of affordable kit online these days. There's a shop in Sydney and Melbourne called Dragon Image. So if you are in Sydney or Melbourne, you can go to Dragon Image. Actually, they're in Brisbane as well. If you're in other cities anywhere in the world, just Google, video equipment supplies, and you'll be able to find an actual shop. So if you want to go and look at equipment and suss out the different types of equipment and get hands-on, great. You can order off their site online. There's also another great site that I use a lot, which is called Backdrop Source.
Mm-hmm.
So BACKDROPSOURCE, backdropsource.com.au. And that's a great source of online equipment. Starting out, a simple camera will do you. Something like a Kodak PlayTouch or a ZI-8 are a really popular choice. They're a great little camera. They're just a little bit bigger than your iPhone. They accept an external microphone. You can buy a little clip-on lapel microphone online. You can buy them for about $50. Go to Backdrop Source and look at some lighting. Look at what they call a softbox, and you've probably seen a picture of these, but they're like a square-shaped light with a white diffuser cloth on the front of them. These days they run large fluorescent bulbs in the front of them, so they don't run very hot, which is great. It was always one of the challenges working in video studios and things, was a lot of heat coming off the lights. So you can set yourself up there really, really simply. If you've got a room in your house that you can dedicate to being a studio, then that's ideal, because you're not, you're not having to shift your gear around all the time or pack it up and put it away. So, here at home I've got a studio set up, and it's great. I've got a green wall, which I use for green screen videos, and I've got a white wall as well. Excuse me. So I've got the white wall, so I can do the white background. I've also got whiteboard, so I've got a whiteboard in my studio as well, so I can do videos against the whiteboard and write on them. So you can set yourself up pretty inexpensively. For under $1,000, you get yourself set up with lighting, a camera, a microphone, a green screen if you want one to do those sort of effects. I think, did you say storage as well in that question?
Yeah, I'll just pop back over there. Hold on a sec. Storage. I like it up on YouTube, but no, storage was something else. I think home studio.
To me,
also for storage as well. I guess for storing it away.
Yeah, because you end up, of course, with gigabytes of data for this. I just have a rack of external hard drives.
Yep.
I've got something like 12 terabytes of storage here at home.
Yeah, that's video storage. I think, actually, just looking at this, I think you might be talking about storage as well, maybe packing up your studio gear.
Okay, cool. So, like a lot of the kits you buy, the lights actually packed down, they come with a case. I know, actually, Roscoe, I got Roscoe to buy some kit about 2 weeks ago, and the kit he bought actually came with a case. So you can pack it all down into a bag, and it's like a small suitcase that packs up into. So, you don't have a room you can dedicate to it. You can pack it up small and keep it in the wardrobe or the closet. Keep it easily.
Okay. Yep. Now, just timing of videos. Kate Storman, interested in knowing the ideal duration of videos. When do people switch off? Average attention span. Also the structure, timing for format and content. So let's just talk about timing first, I guess.
All right, cool. So, we were talking about this before we, started the interview in terms of what you'd observed on yours. And attention spans are short. It's just the society we live in where we're used to quick, fast-paced visual information, and information so accessible, it's so easy just to flick from one thing to the other. So it depends, from my point of view, it depends on the type of video you're making, what it is, and the audience that you're going to. If you're putting out like an intro video on the front page of your website, or just a little piece of information, like a little hint or a tip, I think 60 to 90 seconds is the ideal time frame. Beyond that, people get bored and off they go. I did a series last year, middle of last year. I did a series of 60-second video tips, and I called them that. I called them 60-second video tips, so people knew exactly before they clicked play, they knew what they were in for, which was a 1-minute video. And I got a lot of really great feedback on that. People thought it was great because they were getting good information and it wasn't taking half an hour to watch. You know, I had people say it's really cool, but we know before we click that it's only a minute long, and it's great because, you know, they give them the information they need. And I made sure that in that minute I gave them something they could actually apply, something they could, not just some fluffy information. It was like, right, do this. And the feedback on that was great. So if you can capture people's attention and give some information across in that 60 to 90 second time frame, I think you do really well. If you are going to an audience that know you, so if you're communicating with your existing community, you know, your business community, your database, then you can afford to be longer if you are delivering great value. So we've been experimenting with like sales videos with people in them, anything from 7 to 11 minutes, and getting pretty good response and pretty good completion rates. We've tried those with like a raw audience and not got the, so I mean a raw audience, I mean like a non-opted in database. We put those videos out publicly and you get much shorter views. You get 30 seconds to a minute. But if your community know you and know you're delivering good information, then away they go and they're prepared to watch longer. But there's also some things that you need to do within those videos to ensure or help get that, you know, that viewer attention. Make sure you're giving really good value. Make sure you're telling them stuff they can do and stuff they can apply in their businesses that's going to help them. And let them know up front that that's what they're going to get. Okay, so right at the start of your video, depending on the type of video, if it's an intro video for your website, you want to be asking questions to make sure that you're hooking in the right audience. So if you go to my website, paulhollandmedia.com, and you click on the video there, I think the first thing out of my mouth is, would it be useful for you to know how to make video work for you and your business? Because if someone's looking for video marketing information and they hear me ask that question, unconsciously they're going to say yes, and they're going to keep watching to see what I say next. If I just say, hi, I'm Paul Holland and I've been working with video for 20 years, I'm not relating to them, I'm talking about me. So it's important to get that message structured towards your audience. For those longer videos I was talking about where you're talking to your existing community, let them know up front. You know, hi, it's Paul. You know, I hope you guys are doing well. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to do this and this and this, and I'm also going to tell you this and this and this. And then away you go. And from the point of view, we've done some with promoting events. So we talk a little bit about the event, and then we say, oh, but before we talk any more about that, I want to teach you how to do this. So you're actually giving them information. You've told them up the front you're going to teach them something, and then you're actually teaching them something. So that's what holds people there, because they're actually knowing they're going to get information.
Okay.
So I've seen a few guys online doing stuff where they'll say, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can get this thing for free. And then they talk for 10 minutes about something else, and at the end go, now, to get your free thing, go here. You're almost tricking people into watching your whole video. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think you should be delivering really good value throughout the video. So, you know, from a timing point of view, if you're just doing little tips and tricks, keep them short. 60, 90 seconds. Respect people's time, but make sure you're giving them really good value. Okay.
Could we do a 60-second tip?
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, could we do a 60-second tip right now on the whiteboard? Could you show us? Everyone talks about keywords a lot and keyword rich and all that sort of stuff. Could you show us, as if you're doing it on YouTube, where you actually place your keywords and how you do that, so that people can know if they've got a keyword they want to use? Here's where you put it on the video.
All right, cool. Might struggle to get this in 60 seconds, but let's go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if we're looking at keywording your YouTube videos, there are 4 key things that you need to do to make them work. So hopefully you can read that.
Yes,
Number 1 is the title of your video file. So when you spit your video out of your camera, it might be dsc123.mov or whatever it is. You need to change that file to include your keywords. So before you even get to YouTube, if you're doing a video about marketing, you want to change the name of the file to marketing.movie or marketing.mp4. The second thing is the title on YouTube. So when you upload the video to YouTube, the first thing it asks you to do is give it a title, and that's the name that it appears with on YouTube. You want to make sure you include your keyword in that. So if your video is about marketing, you want to put marketing as the first word in the title. Something that's a cool little trick you can do here, you can actually include your keyword twice. So you can put marketing, Paul's tips on marketing. So you've actually got that keyword in the title twice. The third thing would be the description box. So after you've written your title on YouTube, you write your description. So again, same deal. You want to put your keywords up front in the description box. So you might even just put the word marketing. Then throughout the description box, you want to include your keywords as you're going. So write a detailed description about the video. You can even get the video transcribed and include the transcription in the description box, because hopefully you're mentioning your keywords throughout your video. Hopefully as you're talking about your subject, those keywords are coming out. So what you're doing there is you're actually giving YouTube and Google more text that they can scan. Okay, so they scan through there. It's still debatable how much technology they have to read what you're saying in your video, but the more text you can give them, the more they can read and understand what's in your video. So make sure your description is keyword rich. The fourth thing is tags. So after you've filled in the description, YouTube asks you for tags. Now tags are a place where you can put individual keywords. So you might put marketing, you might put advertising, you might put a phrase like marketing your business. Whatever those keywords are that relate to your subject, you want to put them in the tags area. Now, something really, really important to note here is that if you're using a phrase like marketing your business, when you enter that into the tags section on YouTube, you have to put it inside speech marks. Okay, so individual words are fine, but if you're using a phrase, put it inside speech marks. Otherwise, YouTube and Google will read that as 3 individual words. They won't read it as a phrase. So make sure you do that. So title your video file. Make sure the title of your video file before you even upload it has your keyword. Put your keyword in your title, and you can do that twice. Load your description up with keywords and keyword phrases about what you're doing, and include tags in your video. And that's the 4 things that you can do to really help get your video ranking in YouTube straight away.
Awesome. That's tops.
Cut 60 seconds, thereabouts.
60 to 90 seconds, that's what you said.
Yeah. But I mean, like, if you're making a video and you can deliver information like that, then people will watch it, because I told you up front I was going to teach you 4 things. So you've got an unconscious desire to know what all 4 are. And, I don't know how long that was. It was probably under 2 minutes.
Yep.
But, that's a good way to start using video in your business. Add value to the people that are in your marketplace.
Excellent, man. You just showed us exactly what you were just teaching us before you did that. All right. Now, what have we got next? We'll cover that one. Oh, just like Ben Winters brought up the subject of commercials. If you take a look at commercials, they've got they've done a lot of research on attention spans, and you triggered some questions I had myself, which was what's the difference between making videos to post online and making commercials for TV? What can we learn from the ads on TV that we see to apply or avoid applying to our videos?
Yeah, cool. Well, I mean, we've just been talking about how long your videos are, and that's a classic one there. I mean, your average TV commercial is 30 seconds long, and they have been for a long time. You do get longer ones, and you do get 15-second ones, but your average TV commercial is 30 seconds long. One of the big differences, I think, between doing commercials and doing video online is that in a commercial, they're often very generic, like in terms of who they're targeted at. You don't see a TV commercial that says, "Are you a working mum aged between 35 and 45?" You just don't see that. They'll just sell their product to everyone. So it's sort of like the scattergun approach. Doing video online gives you that opportunity to be really specific. You can do keyword research about what your market are searching for. If they were, working mums between 35 and 45, you could run ads on Facebook where you target that marketplace, so a link to your video comes up for someone in that age bracket. And then you've got the opportunity you're not restricted by time, so you don't have to be 30 seconds. Whereas, if you're making a 30-second TV commercial, you've got 30 seconds. Whereas you could make a video that's 45 seconds or 60 seconds or 7 minutes, depending what it is. So you've got that opportunity to be more targeted. I think the other thing too is that I'm a big believer in people connecting with people. I really believe the old adage that we do business with people we like. And as I said early on, video is the easiest way to build connection and trust online. So you've got the opportunity to have a conversation with someone. You know, your online video doesn't have to be a slick TV commercial with, you know, with the product and the graphics and things. It can be you talking to someone who could potentially be your customer, or talking to someone who's got a problem that you can solve. So, you know, I'm a big fan and just, you know, being real, being yourself, and just sharing information that you've got. Because if you've got the right information for someone, if they are a prospect for you and you've got the right information, then they're going to come back to you. You know, they're going to get in contact with you, and ultimately, you know, depending on your processes, that you can drive them through to a sale of whatever your product is.
Okay, excellent. Let's see what else. There's a couple more from here. Let's go back to this one here. This is the freshest update. Jeff Slater says Paul is great. Jody Rimmer says send our love.
Yeah, like Jeff and Kane are amazing guys, and I'm fortunate to have been doing some work for them as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, excellent. Use of text in a video, when and how much? So I think she means, you know, like the little text boxes that come up on the screen.
Yep, text graphics.
That was Kate Stoneman's question. Yeah.
Absolutely great. I love them. We use them a lot. So they're a great visual aid, as well as just watching the person talk. If someone gets bored with watching your head, or if someone's got an objection to what you look like, it's just another way of reinforcing the message that you can get across. Any important details, so like websites, phone numbers, your name, things like that, I think are really good examples of things that you can highlight with text graphics. And then as you're talking through your video, like, so for example, this example I did here, if I was making that video, I would have had these 4 things come up. You know, and I probably would have in the video where I was slightly off to one side and they came up beside me and they sit there on screen. Because the video is not very long, you know, it's probably 2 minutes tops. So they're there, so you're constantly reinforcing there are 4 things and this is what they are. How much and how often? You don't want to be changing them all the time. You don't want too much. Like, say, how often? You don't want every 5 seconds to have something popping up, because it just becomes distracting.
Yeah.
Use them to highlight key points. So, you know, if you were reading your script, what would be the words that you would highlight? You know, what would be the words that you would underline? Use it to do those. And then get them up on screen, leave them up on screen for 5 seconds. You know, 4 seconds is okay. Anything less than that gets a little bit too quick. So 4 to 5 seconds is a good guideline, or leave them up for longer if you're still talking about the point.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely a really good idea to just, and also makes your videos just more interactive and more flow rather than just being a talking head.
Yeah, talking head. That's the documentary thing. Yeah. Whenever I see a talking head on screen, I'm like, oh, excellent. And if it's black and white and fuzzy, even better. And my wife's like, no, turn it off. Yeah. I love documentaries. Okay, so I think we might finish up with Roscoe Patterson says, how is Chino? Make Chino appear in the interview. All right.
Chino appear in the interview.
What's Chino? I don't even know. What's Chino?
Chino is my new puppy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Is there a puppy around there? Is it?
Let me just see. Hold on. He's very cute. He's very worthwhile. Chino, I'll be back. 1 second.
Yeah, you're right.
What's that? He's all hyped up. But here he is.
Chino!
Chino!
Hey, Chino.
Say hi, everyone.
So how old is Chino?
So Chino is about 12 weeks old. He's a Maltese poodle. He's just come out of the shower, so he's been having a wash, so he's a bit wet and shaggy, but he's cool. He's my first dog. I've never had a dog before, so
really?
yeah, it's a cool experience. Learning a lot.
Yeah.
But he's certainly a lot of fun. Hey, buddy.
There you go, Roscoe. There's Chino.
He's our favourite studio dog. He's been hanging out in the studio whenever we've been filming too, just like He tends to curl up at the person's feet who's filming. It's really cool. Alright, I'll just take him back.
But you know. There we have to sort that out later. Just see if there's any last minute questions. Backdrops. We sort of talked about that sort of stuff. Yeah, I think we've exhausted
What else you got?
that. Yeah, I think we've exhausted that list. So move on to more businessy sort of stuff. How do you stay focused? You know, how do you get stuff done without getting overwhelmed? Because when you're doing tech savvy stuff, I mean, it just takes time. So how do you function that way?
I'm very fortunate. I've got a great team around me as well that I can hand work off to. The editors that work for me are really great and just they do a great job, and I trust a lot of work to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a list guy. I like writing lists.
Yeah.
So I will often just have my task list for the day, and I'm easily distracted. So for me, it's really important to. If I'm feeling a little overwhelmed or anything, I just stop everything, and I'll often have a glass of water, or I'll make a cup of tea, and then I'll come back and I go, okay, what is the most important task on my list? And generally, it's what's making money in my business. So what's the most important task? And then I'll just sit down and focus on that one thing. I'm also a big believer in outsourcing jobs, though. So what tasks on that list do I not need to be doing? What can I get someone else to do? Whether it's someone on my team, whether I put it out to Odesk or Elance or something like that. Really try and make sure that I'm respecting my own time as much as I can.
Okay. What about on a budget? Because that's another thing too. Is a lot of people are getting started. They don't have teams. They don't have money to spend on outsourcing. Well, how did you cope with that in the beginning, or did you already have something established where you could do that?
Just in terms of like my workload and things.
Yeah, we'll say I don't. For example, I don't have loads of cash, so I don't have money to sort of outsource and do all this sort of stuff. How would I go about, or how do you go about getting stuff done when it's just you in the early days?
I work a lot of hours.
Yeah.
I actually, in the early days, I mean, as I said, I use lists a lot, and my list would grow and grow and grow and grow to the point where there's stuff that had been sitting on the list for a month and not getting done. And ultimately, what it led me to believe and led me to learn was, is this really important in my business? Is this task that's been sitting there for a month pissing me off because I'm not getting it done? Is it really genuinely something that I need to focus on in my business? And usually the answer was no, because if it was, then it wouldn't have been on there for a month.
Yeah.
So, try and minimize the amount of stuff and try and focus on things that are going to bring money into your business. If you're getting started and things are a bit tight or budgets are a bit tight, the most important thing in your business is making sales, bringing in money. And people often sort of miss that. So often I've come across people who are, I'm going to launch my business next week, but, I'm just waiting for my business cards to get printed, or I'm just waiting for my website to get started. And it's crap, it's really shit. People are costing themselves money and, running the risk of their business not succeeding because they're worried about that sort of stuff rather than the making money things. So look at that task list if you're operating on a list and say, which of these items are going to generate money now? And look, sometimes you have to work a lot of hours. Like, it's the nature of being an entrepreneur. When you're getting things started, you work hard. And it doesn't necessarily stop either. Jeff and Kane are a great example of this. Really successful guys making millions of dollars, and they work as hard as anyone else I know at all hours of the day and night. I get messages off them at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Hey, can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? So that's not because they like working hard. It's because they're passionate about what they do, and they're passionate about what they're building. So, they've got the opportunity and the choices, and I have those choices as to how hard I want to work now. But when you're getting started and you're working on a tighter budget, you just have to do the hard yards. Sometimes you've got to do the extra hours. But when you're in business hours between 9 o'clock and 5 o'clock, focus on the revenue generating activities. What can bring money into your business. And if it's video, if you're making videos, think about what videos am I making that are going to generate money? How is this video going to generate me cash? Yeah.
Okay. And so one thing I'm doing now, this is just like a personal question now, that other people might be having that same challenge. So I'm making these interviews. I'm not selling them yet. Like, I'm building the foundation of the expert interview formula. So I'm getting sort of a bunch of interviews under my belt, getting connections, building my network with people that are big game players, as opposed to just sort of trying to go out and get clients and just get money and get little things happening, which is what I've been spinning my wheels with for the last 3 years. Is really just chasing this, chasing that, chasing the dollar. And it's now that I've stepped back, I've got a bread and butter gig that I do, which is internet marketing related for a company. And that's what I do. So this is the foundation. This is my part-time thing that I'm doing on 2 days a week. So I've got 2 days a week that I interview and market, spread the message that way. Now, my next step is that I'm working on it. This is what I was up to the wee hours last night, is starting my ebook, writing down my story, which is going to be my first product that I have on the site, ready to go. My site's very plain. It's like you said, you just get it started, get something up there. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to be selling my ebook from that spot there of how to do what I do, this process, just a little thing that I can teach people. So I guess my question there is, am I doing that list of unimportant things when I'm doing that, thinking, am I on the right track, where I'm building the network, building the foundation before I get started? Like, it's like one of Brad Sugar's things. He loves that Japanese slow trigger, fast bullet.
Yes.
I've been doing ready, fire, aim for 3 years, but not hitting targets. So now I'm considering that I'm thinking that I'm doing that. I'm ready and I'm aiming, and then I'm going to pull the trigger and it's going to fire. What's the balance between getting started or not getting, you know what I'm saying? You know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I do. I know what you're getting at. I mean, look, in the situation you're in and with the product that you're building and you're creating, there is work that has to be done up front. Like, you've got to do these interviews. Yeah. You can't avoid that. I can teach
you how to get interviews, but I haven't done any yet.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So you're doing the right thing. And I think, look, you're in that fortunate position that you've got your day job, for example. So you're bringing in that income, and it does allow you a bit of freedom. I would look for you, though, to be, while you're doing these activities, which, you need to do, you need to be building your ebook, you need to be building your videos. I'd be making a video series about how to do interviews. Make sure you're starting to gather interest, though, and starting to gather a community and a database around it. Don't wait until you've got your product ready and then go, hey, by the way, who's interested in learning how to interview people?
Yeah.
Now, I just know that people are interested in your product, right? I mean, in the networks that we work in, the Awesomepreneurs group, people understand the value of doing interviews like this. So there's definitely a market for your product. But I would be making sure that you're collecting details of people right now. So, put something out there on Facebook, or put a squeeze page up on your website just saying, look, this is coming soon. Are you interested in learning how to interview people?
Mm-hmm.
Or ask questions. Like, you ask questions on there about, you're interviewing me today. What do you want to know about video?
Yeah.
So ask the question, what would you want to know about running interviews with people? And everyone that responds to that becomes a lead for you. So that then the day that you are ready to pull the trigger, you've actually got something to aim at.
Yes.
So at the moment you're building your gun.
Yes.
And you're inserting your bullets. So it'd be nothing worse to go, great, my gun's ready, what do I shoot?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a tricky one. But by the same token, you could also put out something right now. You've got the skills in interviewing. You're doing it right now. You could put something out there and say, hey, who needs to learn how to interview? And you could generate revenue to help support your product by maybe working with some people and teaching them.
So are you thinking like a workshop, maybe?
Yeah, run a workshop. Run a one-on-one. Do a 2-hour Skype call with someone where you teach them how to run interviews.
Mm.
And charge them for that coaching call. You're going to learn as much through doing that process as they're going to learn from you as well.
Yeah.
I learn from my clients all the time. I'm always learning from my clients about, new things I can be aware of, things I can be thinking of, things that I take for granted because it's just ingrained knowledge in me that, that people don't know. I mean, here's a classic one that I had a friend staying with me last week, and I set them all up in the studio and said, okay, cool, go for it. And one of the things with video is that this is a great tip for everyone, when you're making a video and you are speaking to camera, make sure that you are looking into the lens for a good half a second and just sit there and smile before you start to speak. And then when you finish, make sure you hold that gaze to camera. What happens so often, and this is what happened with my friend who was here last week, is he didn't know that. So he's gathering his thoughts, he's thinking, he goes, okay, so here's the deal, and da-da-da. So he's not actually looking at his audience when he starts speaking, he's down here.
Yeah.
So when you go to edit that, the first thing that you see is this weird head movement.
Yeah.
And people are distracted straight away by that movement rather than listening to his words. The flip side on the other end of that is that people are often so relieved to be finished and to have got their words out that they look away straight away. Like, God, I don't have to talk to the camera anymore.
Yeah.
And you want a bit of breathing space with video. You want a little gap before you start speaking and a little gap after you finish speaking. But if people's eyes flick away, unconsciously the viewer's going, what are they looking at?
Yeah.
And you've straight away lost their last thought. So, if you just told them to go over here and opt in, and then they go, oh, what's he looking at? I wonder what else was in the room, da-da-da. They've lost that thought. So, I don't know, that to me it's just natural because I've been doing it and I've been around it for so many years, but people don't know that. So it's, for you, in your situation, the knowledge that you have, you can pass on to people, but then they'll ask you questions that make you go, oh yeah, well that's obvious to me, but not to them, so I should include that in my product.
Yeah.
So you'll learn and your product will grow through those interactions as well. If you've got knowledge that you can share with people and that is worthy of being shared with people, and you do, and the fact that you are building a business and an ebook and a website around it, further cements that, then someone wants to know that information today.
Yeah.
So find that person and sell them, give them what they want and sell them the service, sell them a coaching call or sell them something that can provide money for you now in the short term while you're building your product. Okay.
Like Jeff and Kane say, you pull your prices out your bum. What would you suggest a price would be for a 2-hour call like that?
Oh, I've done them for $300.
Yep.
It's really up to you and the value that you perceive and where you're comfortable at.
Yeah.
But your information is valuable. What do you value your time at? If you were going out consulting, if a business was going to pay you to come and consult to them, how much would you charge them an hour? And then charge that. But by the same token, a lot of us are bootstrappers, We bootstrap our businesses and we do whatever we can to get our businesses going.
Yeah.
So if someone's prepared to pay you $50 to get on Skype, then you might want to have to consider, well, I'll take their $50, Now, don't devalue your time, but by the same token, don't deprive someone of your information.
Yeah.
And the opportunity you've got to learn from them as well, which could ultimately, they could ask you the one question about how to do something that you'd never thought about including. It could be the gem.
So getting in action is actually going to help you create better products.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Excellent. So let's say someone wanted to get into what you're doing.
Yep.
From your experience, right, so they don't scrape their knees in the industry for 3 years like we all do at some point. To try and fast track, what should someone sort of do, step 1, 2 and 3, say, to become like you, do what you do.
So to teach people how to use video and things like that?
Yeah. So like what you're doing, what you're aiming to build, what you're out there teaching. Someone from ground zero, they want to get started. They go, look, I want to get into video. Step 1, 2 and 3. What should they be doing?
Cool. They need to understand the fundamentals of video. So they need to spend time learning, the basic fundamentals. It's one of those things that once you know the rules, you can break them.
Yeah.
If you've heard that sort of analogy. Once you know what the rules are, you can break them. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that have no idea what the rules are. So spend time, get on YouTube, look up videos about how to do lighting, best camera angles, things like that. Get a good understanding of the skills. But then look at what they're seeing online. Look at what they are observing online, what's going on, what sort of videos they relate to. look at successful video campaigns and really see what's working, you know. Get a good grounding in the basic skills, because once you've got those skills, you can change the rules and do whatever you like. But if you haven't got that background, to that sort of base knowledge to fall back on, then you're sort of fundamentally flawed, I think.
Yeah.
Secondly, start working with your friends. Ask your friends if they're looking for help with video. You know, start working with friends, with family, with anyone you know. Get some experience, get things rolling. You know, just get some runs on the board, so to speak, would be the second thing. And then the third thing would be start building a community, start adding value to people with the information that you've got to give. So put hints and tips on your blog, put them on Facebook. You know, just really start building value. Exposure equals credibility.
Yeah.
So the more you're out there, the more credible you're perceived to be. Now, you have to be able to back that up when someone picks up the phone and calls you.
Yeah.
But to get that phone call, you know, having credibility allows you to get that phone call in the first place.
Okay, excellent. Now, you talk a lot about building communities. How do you go about doing that? If you don't know anyone, you're just starting out. You don't really know anyone. So if you're just putting random tips on Facebook, they're not kind of reaching maybe the right people. You know, they're just your friends.
No. So
how do you build a community?
A really good way to do that is to look for groups or pages on Facebook that are around your subject. So, you know, for me, look for groups on video. You know, if you were into dogs, look for groups that are about dogs, and start getting in and start interacting in those groups. Start answering people's questions. Start commenting in those groups. Start becoming known within those groups. You know, forums. I don't really do forums, but I know there's a lot of forums on the web for a lot of different subjects. Same deal. Get in there. Start answering questions. Start asking questions. Get known. Get your name known. And then have yourself organised so that you've got a web page with an opt-in, you know, where people can come and give you their details in exchange for something of value. And once people start getting to know your name and interacting, you know, you can take the opportunity to say, hey, I've got this free report for you. Now, if people are enjoying your answers, they're seeing you as an authority, then they'll want more of you and they'll come over and they'll opt in to get your free report. Once someone's opted in, you've got the opportunity to engage in a conversation with them. You know, you've got the opportunity to communicate with them, to continue to add value. And the more value you're adding, the more you are perceived as the expert, and the more they value you. So that when the time comes for them to buy, you're the person they come to. Business used to be very sort of closed off, you know, and hold your secrets close to your chest. You just can't do that anymore. The world is too transparent. I mean, I believe I can learn anything about any subject on the web. I can become an expert. You know, I reckon I could learn to fly a 747
Yeah.
on what's on the internet if I was prepared to put the time into reading, you know, and it would be stupid amounts of hours. But I firmly believe I could learn to do anything I wanted to do by reading on the web. I don't want to do that, though. If I want to know about something, I want to find someone who's a credible source and get the information from them, because they've already done the hard yards. So you need to become that credible source in your niche for your product. You know, so I guess my point there is give away information. Don't hold anything close to your chest. Give away your best stuff. Tell them your best secrets. You know, tell them how to make YouTube work for them.
Yeah. Because
you want people to succeed. Because if people succeed because of something they told you, then they attribute that success with you and they associate that with you. The more you can do that, the more you will build community and people will want to be around you. If you've got a bit of a network on Facebook and things like that, start your own group around the subject and then look to attract people into that group, and you can facilitate and manage the conversation as well. And again, that's placing you as the expert and allowing you to build that community around you.
Excellent, man. That's top. So what's your favourite thing that you're doing in your work? So when you get out of bed in the morning and you just get into it, what's your favourite thing? My
favourite thing right now is actually getting out and speaking to people. You know, I'm beginning to speak on more stages. I was very lucky recently that Universal Events, which is one of the biggest seminar promoters in the country, gave me the opportunity to speak on their stage.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, fantastic. working alongside Roscoe and being able to go and add value, and just really having a lot of fun speaking and educating and being able to interact with people and, you know, answer people's questions one-on-one and just get that interaction and seeing more and more people doing it. When I see my clients doing cool stuff, like Alison's video with the hands, that really lights me up. Like, I really get a buzz out of that. You know, when I see people that I've helped to do something like that and get a great result, that really, you know, really lights me up. I just love seeing that. That's sort of what makes it work for me.
Awesome, man. So, what do you got coming down the pipeline? What are you working on at the moment, sort of into the future? So you're starting to do your speaking. Where's that going to take you to?
More speaking. Automating the process of creating sales videos for people. So what we're looking at there is sales videos or traffic generating videos. So where you don't necessarily have to be in the video, but it can just be a voice, your voice, or a voiceover with graphics, educating people on your topic to, you know, to help drive traffic to your website. So getting that automated. But also my education arm is getting more sorted. I'm kicking off my my membership program. Well, it's up and running, the Video Marketing Academy, videomarketingacademy.com.au. So that's an online membership program where people can come and just get stepped through the process of basically, whether you know nothing or whether you're already making videos, there's great information there for you to learn and step you through all the different steps you need to know, from the different types of video to use, how to present yourself in script, you know, different equipment, how to film, how to edit, how to promote your videos. That's all in there. It's a $97 a month program. So I'm working on creating a lot of content for that as well, which is great, and that's growing well. So, you know, that's going to be a big part of the business going forward.
Okay, and what's the address for that again? So if people want to go in and opt in and jump on your list?
Yeah, it's www.videomarketingacademy.com.au.
Okay, so that's for the membership program. And what about your main website?
For me, it's paulhollandmedia.com. www.paulhollandmedia.com.
Yeah, and you're all over Facebook. You got a page there as well.
Yeah, so, all over Facebook. So facebook.com/Paul Holland Media or facebook.com/Video Marketing Academy, or just my personal profile, Paul Holland. Look for my profile picture. I think it's me with a camera at the moment. So
yeah, I like that picture. That's a good one. Yeah. So guys, I'm going to put some links down here if you're on the blog or if you're watching this on YouTube yourself. So yeah, there'll be plenty of links down there, so you can click and go find Paul in whichever area you want to sort of engage him in. So thanks, Paul, for the call today, mate. You've just dropped about a gazillion gold nuggets that I'm definitely going to go back as I edit this video and write them all down and start applying them. So I really appreciate your help, man. So yeah, thanks for the call, and we'll be seeing you soon, man.
All right, see you later.
Bye. See you, man. Bye.